You're listening to Truth on Tap with hosts Kevin Tearster.
Yes, you are, my friend.
The Big Show.
You're going to listen to it and you're going to like it, you bastards. It is The Big Show.
Some say that karma is a bitch.
I don't give a shit what some say.
That karma is a bitch.
Some say they're
Show.
This is my friend stayed in the haunted hotel. Bless her soul. He showed the whole night.
Apparently there was a black conversation going on with something, but I didn't quite know the hotel that had a room for me.
Yeah, some people
I
do
didn't know
that
at
in
the
this
time it
video.
was a haunted hotel.
You're listening to The Big Show. You're listening to Truth on Tap, my friends. Your host, Kevin Tearster. How about it?
I mean, I should
How
have
about
guessed
that
it was
whole
haunted.
stream of consciousness thing? I mean, first of all, what I like is the freedom of a show format like this. Secondly, we're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to give you 30 seconds, literally, of my technical background here, or what I've been going through today, rather. Sam Broadcaster, kicking my ass today. I don't know what I changed. I tried to make things better. Bam, everything was echoing. If you listen to last night's show, all the songs echo. I can my speech didn't echo. All the songs, all the sound effects echoed. We can't have that. And for all I know, it's going to do it again tonight, but I think I frickin' fixed it, okay? So bear with me, help me out. This is almost perfected. I've almost got my broadcasting setup perfected. The only thing to be improved at this point will be acoustics in my studio and probably better sound equipment. But you know, for a talk show, you don't need a whole heck of a lot going on. Yeah, Imus is going to make it look expensive. Rush Limbaugh is going to make it look like, in order to hear me speak, you'll need gold-plated microphones. Well, he can shove his gold-plated microphone up Bill O'Reilly's ass because, see, I'm thinking both of them would derive joy out of that. Derive was the word, not deride. Get into a whole new subject there. I wanted to tell you about that, and I guess part of the reason I'm doing this show is because I'm just a little excited that everything seems to be working again, you know? Seems to be. At least it's closer to working. And, you know, what a great outlet is internet radio, where you can come on and talk about whatever you want. There's a few things I need to tell people because listenership really is jumping here lately. First, if you call in, and you can, it's 910-NO-LYING. That's the number, 910 665-9464, 910-NO-LYING, as in tell the fucking truth. You can also get in on the chat by going to the show's page, and you can do that by going to Spreaker.com/user/truth-on-tap. There, you're going to see a live broadcast. Click that. And on that next page, look down in the lower right by the happy little heart icon, and you'll see something that looks like a speech bubble. Click on that, and you're in the chat. Now, I'll be the first to agree with you. That's a bit of a convoluted way to have to get into a speech, or to get into a chat, rather, with somebody, but, you know, shit. I don't run the place, you know, and I like Spreaker. I don't want to beat up on him too bad. They've got like 30 employees. They need at least 3,000. That's the problem with Spreaker, and that's their only problem. Their audio quality is excellent. Their reliability, pretty top-notch. They got a good thing going here. They got Blog Talk Radio beaten all to shit when it comes to quality. I mean, this gives quality audio, and I like them for that. I also like that there's some freedom in the way you broadcast. It just seems to be more... has that open source feel, even though they have their rules and you do need to do it their way. They're very lax. They're all overseas, you know. Interesting stuff. I'll get more into it. I'm trying to learn how to drink my coffee more silently, because I had a very good and trusted friend tell me that it annoyed her to hear me sipping my coffee while on the show. Now, I've got this headset made by Plantronics with a pretty high quality microphone in it, and built into the line of the headset has a Skype call button, has a volume up or down button for the speakers, not for what's coming into my mic, just so I can turn down what I'm hearing or turn it up. And then the fourth and final button is a mute button, and it works great. I just keep forgetting that it's there. So old habits die hard. I'm trying to skip the mute button. So if you hear a little teeny bit of silence, it's not me not having words. I can talk about any damn thing. It's me getting a sip of my coffee. So bear with me. And it isn't always coffee that I'm drinking. It could be soda. I don't drink alcohol at this time in my life. I might drink at a Capitals game or something, but for the most part, just don't need it. I'd say 90% of the things I've done in my life that I regret were under the influence of alcohol. Knowing that, I tend to stay away from it. But it's not just that, I was doing fine, drinking once in a while, and then met my current girlfriend, Tanya. She doesn't drink. Never has, never will. I'm living with a girlfriend who doesn't drink. I just don't need to drink. It doesn't feel like it matches, so I don't. But she knows as well as I do, if I go to a Caps game, I'll be drinking some skank. You could give me a skunk Corona, and I'll drink it at a Caps game, because Kevin's putting on that buzz to go with that emotion at a Caps game. What an amazing experience that is, my friends. I'm not trying to talk you into going and liking a sports team, but if you like a sports team, man, do what you have to do. Save up a little money to get in there and get a live event under your belt. Oh my gosh, the electricity in the crowd. And some people will say, well, I could have enjoyed myself more at home in my lazy boy watching the big screen. It's true. For a comfort factor, that's true. But that means you're not feeling the electricity, and you probably aren't a real fan. You can be offended by that. I don't give a shit. Call in and offend me. If you go to a live sporting event where your professional team is playing and the crowd is screaming and cheering and you're not feeling the electricity, you ain't a fan. You're a casual observer of a certain team with a certain color uniform. That's all you are. Don't fool yourself. Truth on Tap is the name of this show. Keep that in the back of your mind. What are we going to talk about at 3:30 in the damn morning on a Friday morning? September 27th, 2013. So in that way, it's Friday the 13th, because it's Friday, blah, 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 2013. See? So every Friday this year will be an unlucky Friday. Are you going to go to work? You're going to get hit by a meteorite? Are you going to be on a jackhammer? For whatever reason, you may be a secretary, but you could find yourself on a jackhammer. You don't know. Are you going to be on a jackhammer and lose control of it, where you're kind of running down the street like somebody on a pogo stick who is also on the crack, and then run into a police cruiser? That could happen, because it's Friday the blankety blankety blank 2013. Superstitions are silly. I've always believed it, and I probably always will. That does not mean that if I'm going to a big event or having a big moment or getting ready to storm the beach at Normandy, I'm not going to try something. I'll try anything to get some good luck. But so far, none of them have worked. Yeah, so far, none of them have worked. Good friend stopped by tonight, Kim. Had to help me out of a jam, and she did, because she's pretty reliable like that. Thank you, friends like her, Kim, David, Joe. My gosh, my friend Joe. What can I say about her? She's a living saint, man. She just, you have a problem, and she descends from the low-level clouds and is like, I bring with me solution, and then I fly away. If you've got a friend like that, you better be damn well thankful for it. That's all I got to say, because they are few and far in between. I got another friend out in Colorado. I'm not going to mention him because he's too damn humble, who has come through for me. Now, we don't talk as much as we should, he and I, but I think we think a lot alike. I really do. I wish he would talk to me more for that reason. Not because I would love to talk to somebody that thinks like I think, because I'm an egotistical maniac, but because I know that he can understand me the way I'd like to be understood, and that's not always easy to find. I have kind of reintroduced cussing into my broadcasts. We could have a whole debate about that. Let's have a little one right now. if your thinking process is that people who curse are kind of more construction worker-like, less civilized, I can understand why you say that. Tends to be a little more ghetto, right? Not to say construction workers are all ghetto. Some of them are much richer than I. Some of them more intelligent than I. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Is it ghetto? Is it ghetto to cuss? Sometimes I used to think that people that cussed wanted to sound tougher than they were, or wanted to scare people because they themselves were insecure, wanted to scare people away from them because it was one of their primary defenses, which this little subtle offense of cursing. I don't know. I haven't studied that very deeply, but that's kind of a gut feeling. And then I started finding myself cussing, and I'm going, well, Kevin, you're not a deeply angry person. You've got this small, very small percentage of people that you just can't stand on the face of this planet, and the rest of them you're pretty okay with. So why the cussing? There's only a couple things I've been able to think of. Maybe you can help me understand some. One is that it adds an element of art to what you're saying. It adds an element of emphasis where no other emphasis may be possible, or you might argue that, Kevin, you could find other descriptive words that would give equally, if not more, than enough emphasis without cussing. You may be right. I'm not arguing that right now. I'm just getting into this. I haven't even thought about it much yet. But it's worth talking about. Why am I cussing now? Why am I cussing on my shows? Cussing on my shows gets my show excluded from opportunities where I could submit it for various prizes and submit it to be syndicated on this and that. Is it a fear of failure? Is that what I want to do? Make sure I maintain my status as a medium fish in a small pond? Is that where I'm going? I don't think so. I don't think so. I certainly don't want fame. If I get it, fuck it, fine. Just don't ask me to sign autographs because I'm liable to piss on your leg. But fame doesn't scare me, but I'm certainly not after it, you know? Some people want it, and I understand why. I mean, that's a good feeling to have a stranger walk up. Hey, are you John Doe? Oh my God, my son watches/listens to everything. Could you please just sign this? Yeah, sure, yeah, that's great. How about that? You know, all of a sudden you're important. People around you are going, all right, look at this guy. Everybody knows him. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. It doesn't do me any good. I don't feel a sense of pride in my life. So you can't boost my pride. If I don't have the sense of pride to begin with, it's absent. So being famous would do nothing for me. So you'll see me dodging those kinds of things that others might just jump on trying to get that fame. This, primarily, is a major point of contention between me and my Arab friend. I'm going to see if you remember his name. Go ahead, say his name. Say the Arab terrorist name. You know his name. The short midget, the midget Arab. Ramses Schweisach. Him and I are at odds on about everything. And it's kind of funny because we do this comedy show, never scripted, never planned, where the backdrop, the unspoken rule is that here is a tall, 6'5", white, strong American imperialist who wishes to dominate the world, taking on an Arab midget from Jordan, who's so angry all the time that he's probably working on another way to make a new underwear bomb to blow up one of our outhouses or something. Because, you know, that's how they be doing. Hi, my name's Ramsey. Boom. Hey, can I get on the bus? Boom. Mind if I use your bathroom? No. Boom. Well, you know, he's not like that. He's an American citizen, folks. Grew up, lived most of his life in Chicago, has done a lot of things to help people. And if he is a terrorist trying to infiltrate, he has a hell of a cover story, brother. He's been working on it for 30 years to be accepted. And he has done that. So we're at each other. And the primary reason we're at each other has nothing to do with the difference between our height or races or ideologies, but rather he's an organized type A, want to succeed, getting ready to move LA, start his comedy show. ABC is how it has to go for him. He's got it laid out, and he needs things to be in order. He got mad at me because I didn't want to jump in on a promotion bandwagon that he was pushing along, and he pushes them along very well. He'll get you promoted. And I said, I don't need to be famous. I ain't looking for that. But there is a part of me that says if Ramsey and I could get big, we could serve a very, very needed and necessary service to the people of the world that are concerned about the relation between the West and the Middle East. The two of us going at each other, kind of doing the sock puppet fight, but yet being friends and helping spread understanding that, you know what, not everybody in the Middle East is looking to light their shoe on fire. And not everybody in the West is looking to take your country from you. We don't want any more countries. We don't want any countries. We're happy to have the one we have. We're settled right here. We need to get our nose out of everybody's business while protecting innocent people from their governments and from other terrorist threats. And that's it. That's really what it is now. Let's be real about it. Ramsey and I would like to help close that gap of understanding that extreme, and I will say extreme, paranoia that Americans have for the Middle Easterners and vice versa. Very paranoid of each other. Have so many wrong ideas about each other. We could do that. We could bridge that gap. The only problem is he wants to succeed and he's got all these plans on becoming a superstar, and I don't care. Success to me is reaching some people and helping them in some way. That's it. I'm happy. I am. That's all I need. My daughter, my stepdaughter to be, my girlfriend, their happiness and well-being has to come before anything else. We are humans. I'm not breaking any new ground there. But after that, when it comes to what I need, I'm in Maslow's hierarchy. Nobody can escape it. I'm looking for that meaningful way to give back or at least get involved in the community in order to give something. If I've spent a total of 4,000 nights behind closed doors studying books, and I believe I've woven together some fine ideas from those books and from that study and the study with teachers and classmates and all that, then I feel it's my duty to come try to share some of those views. Maybe nobody agrees with them, but I'm trying. I'm not going to stay silent about it. Maybe I could give you a couple solutions to problems you're having. I ain't charging you nothing. What's the harm? It's fun for me too. I'm getting what I want out of it. I'm not doing this just as a service. I'm not trying to sound like some sort of Mother Teresa here. I'm not. I enjoy doing a radio show. I don't know what we should go to next. My douchebag neighbors, should we go to them? Check this out. Now, I've told you, the last 3 shows have involved my neighbors. What douchebags they are. If I wanted to take the very kind approach, I would just say they're 2 older people that don't have anything better to do. But let me go ahead and make a promise to you. When I get to that age, I'm not looking over my fence to see what your business is, and I am certainly not counting the blades of grass in the ditch between our properties so that I can tell if you may have blown one in there. That's a douchebaggery thing to do. She needs a shirt that says, I belong to the douchebaggery. And I'll make her the shirt if she'll wear it. I haven't made the proposition yet, but I will. I'll use spray paint and stencils, and it'll just say right on there, I am the executive vice president of douchebaggery. Whatever. So you heard about everything that happened when I caught her peeking, because I knew she'd be peeking, right? I knew she would be. I had started my leaf blower for 30 seconds. Got this. I have a way of doing this. My mind does work well in this way. I know when something's about to happen. I'm thinking, hey, wait, I just turned off my leaf blower, right? I haven't used that leaf blower in a year. So nothing on my end of the property has made noise like that recently. So I get this idea in my head. I say to myself, how much you want to bet the nosy neighbor's going to come out? Now, her husband's already at work. He goes to work to get away from her. He doesn't have to work. He's 175 years old. I come in and get my cell phone because it's got a camera in it. And I'm thinking, I'll bet you $9 to 1 that if I go back out there right now, only 30 seconds has passed since I've turned off the leaf blower. I've limped pretty fast. Got my phone, turned it on, got the camera going, walking back out, come around the corner, and I say into the camera, and I'll show you the video if you want to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, we may very well be getting ready to see our very first example of this most exciting and elusive specimen called Nosicus bichicus. She'll emerge whenever she wants to know what a neighbor's doing. Well, I didn't see anything, so I was wrong. For the first 15 seconds, 30 seconds went by, still didn't have anything. I thought, wow, ESP, you failed me again. 45 seconds, I see movement. I see movement. I see the fence is too tightly put together for me to see what's behind it, but I see movement. I see something interrupting the light. And what to my daring eyes should appear but the ugly-ass neighbor who behaves like a queer. I had to say that because it rhymed. She had climbed up a stepladder to look over the fence to see what we were doing because she heard a leaf blower noise. Now, I don't know if I told you in the last show that cops came over to talk to me, and I'll deal with cops in one of two ways. Depends on the mood. I was in an okay mood. This was yesterday. Now, I'll either come out and say, if you don't have a warrant, get the fuck off my property before I put a shoe up your ass, and I will say that if I'm in the mood. Or I'll say, how's it going? What can I do to help you? Well, they were very nice. It was the sheriff and another officer, very kind. Said, you know, we talked to the neighbor the other day, and she said this and that. We just wanted to get your side of the story and make sure nothing is really escalating here. I said, sure, I'll tell you the whole thing. Told him the whole story. You've heard it all if you listen to my last couple episodes. And this is what got me. I said, two things got me. I said, well, she's a bitch, you know. And one of the, how can I say this without getting anybody in trouble? Some voice near me at that time, while I'm speaking with two police officers, says, everybody thinks she's a bitch. And I laughed as much as I could without blowing another vertebrae or a disc out thereof. Then it didn't stop there. It said, I said, you know something? I said, I think her husband goes to work still because he's like 240 years old. He doesn't need to. He still goes to work and volunteers on the rescue squad. There's a volunteer rescue squad out here. I think he does that to get away from her. And some other voice near me at the time said, I wouldn't doubt that one damn bit. Now, you got the cops and some voice near them saying that, yeah, she's a bitch, and bless his heart for having to live with it. All right? So that sets your stage. Come with me. I'm taking you somewhere. We're back to today. I wasn't awake. I'd found the rare moment of sleep. Quite elusive in its own right. Find out that after my very loving and giving stepdad came over to cut the grass because I'm physically unable to at this point, the lawnmower we had spent 3 hours fixing, finishing, breaking my back, broke. The belt was twisted, so it ended up popping, I think, or jumping off the thing. So I got to get a new belt and do the whole thing over again. He rode over his lawnmower, cut the grass, right? All's well. What happens? She gets on the phone. Oh, yeah. Calls the husband. Husband comes home. He's staring down the property line. What's he looking for? I don't know. Damage. Perfection. I don't know what he's looking for. I heard about this shit. Now it doesn't stop there. He gets out with his leaf blower, right? Because certain types of assholes, here's how you'll know them, my friends. And I love having these secrets because I love sharing them with you. If you live next to somebody and they have a schedule that they adhere to when maintaining their lawn, respect that. That's their schedule. Hopefully they don't wake you up every Saturday morning like our neighbors do. The one day my girlfriend can sleep in, yeah, they're out there 7:30 making noise. Assholes. Disrespectful assholes. I don't know how else to put that. But if you want to know if you got a real prick for a neighbor, what they will do is adjust their schedule. And I know some of you already know what I'm about to say. They will adjust their schedule so that right after you cut your grass and do your weed eating or whatever, trim your stuff, they're out there that day or the next day so that they can be the most current one to have tended to their lawn, so that theirs can be the most trimmed. Yours has grown a little bit in 12 hours. Yeah, Theirs is going to be perfect. What assholes. You know, people like that. There's things I want to say right now I'm not even going to want to say, but I wish they'd just go step off the goddamn Grand Canyon. Just walk right up and step off. Do yourself a favor. Why? You're miserable. You're miserable. Is that your existence? You're fucking miserable is what you are. And that's another reason I hate him. Get out of my face with that negative bullshit. If you can count blades of grass, you got way too much time on your hands. We're over here. My girlfriend works full-time. She has a full-time blogger type of business that she does, that she works on, a hobby of hers, and she does work hard at it. We're both taking care of her daughter. You know, I'm doing my thing. I'm writing my novels. I'm doing my radio broadcast. I'm fixing my computers. I'm building my paracord bricks. We got a life. We don't have time to count motherfucking pine cones and then do detective work to see from which direction they may have come so we can know who to blame. Okay? They don't. That's what they do over there. So a little bit later, my girlfriend comes home, and my stepdad's still here. She thanks him for what he's done. The leaf blower's going, right? Yep, got to do something. Right after we've done it, they got to do something. They got to be the most current to have worked on their lawn. I want you to call in. Go write about this on the Facebook page, facebook.com/truthontapshow. Go write about this. Please write about the douchebag neighbors. We got to expose them. So there he is. He's out there. He's blowing a pile of grass that would have fit into a coffee cup, and he's blowing it down the length of his 40-foot lane, across the 16 feet of the highway, across another 20 feet of the margin back there where you go down through the grass and into the ditch into the forest line, and he's blowing it back into the forest. Okay? Whole time, old hen with her hands on her hips, whack, 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 walking right behind him, nagging, make sure he does it right. What do? They repeat the process, walk all the way back to the front of their house, start the leaf blower up, got this fucking ball of grass that's the size of a softball, if that, and she's right behind him. Honk, honk, honk. Hink, hank, honk, knack, knack, knack. I'm surprised that man has not already done himself a favor and stepped off of the Grand Canyon. I'm shocked over it. But he's a prick too. Oh yeah, he's a dickhead. And I'll say it. I've gone to his work to cuss him out in front of everybody. It's like that. It got to that point. Here's the problem with me. Leave me alone. You want to know something about Kevin? Leave him alone. Just leave him the fuck alone. Have I done anything to harm you or your family or your friends? No? Leave me the fuck alone then, and you'll be fine. Poke at me, you're going to get one mad-ass bastard coming out of that dog cage. Oh, it's ugly. Yeah, remember that term, off the chain? Yeah, I'm the guy they based that whole saying on. Somebody has turned Kevin loose. Holy shit. He's off the chain. Yeah, I'll get off the chain if you come poke at me. If you ever need to test that theory, just come do it. Just come poke and prod a little bit. If you think I'm bullshitting, you'll see. I advise you don't, but the invitation stands. Well, they poked and prodded, and finally the old sea hag bitch next door ends up calling my girlfriend at work, ruining her day. My girlfriend's one of those girls that's so nice is just pouring out of her. You know the kind. They're rare. Part of the reason I fell madly in love with her, and after dealing with my ex-wife, who it turns out was actually Satan incarnate. I didn't realize that when I married her. Satan can be very deceitful. So I had to go down to his workplace. There were, I'd say, 5 customers in line, 3 people working behind the counter, including the manager, and him. He worked there too. And I went off. And the basic message can be summed down to, I better not hear about that old sea hag calling my woman at work again, ever. Okay? That was my message. And God help them if they don't heed it. When I left, these were the last words I said, and I've got it on video. I said, this was your warning. There won't be any more. And I turned around and I walked out. Now, anybody that knows me knows, at this point, you shouldn't fuck with Kevin again. Because he doesn't even bother to try to control himself after this point. He lets nature do what nature wants to do. And that's exactly what I'll do. Don't call my girlfriend at work harassing her because some goddamn grass has blown into your yard. You're okay with the grass or the leaves that blow in from across the highway on the forest. You're fine with the shit that comes from your backyard, the forest there. You're okay with the shit that drops into your yard from the trees that are in your yard. But if someone should blow over from our yard, my God, there's a Geneva Convention. It's a whole thing. Everybody's gathering there. Shit. I don't know. I can't think right now. It's 4 a.m. and everybody's meeting at Kyoto and fucking Brussels, Belgium, and the UN is involved, and I don't know. Got a whole treaty going on now. What happened? Some leaves blew in my yard from their yard because they don't rake their leaves up. Guess what, lady? We don't feel like raking our leaves up. And you know what? We're not going to do it this year either, nor are we paying anyone to do it. Matter of fact, I'm inviting people right here, right now, if you can hear this. I don't care when you're hearing it. If you're hearing it next week, today's 9/27/2013. The offer still stands. I'd like you to back up your leaves and come pile them right along the property line. Now, don't get too close so that you're on their property. Just get close enough where the wind will do us great favors. You know what I mean? You'll see a sign out there. I believe it's a 55-mile-an-hour sign. That's our property line. That's anything from that side toward our driveway is our property line. And then where they've got the fence built and that little teeny ditch area, I guess, is theirs. Pile your leaves up 6, 8, 12 feet high. That's fine. All the way back to the wooded area. Yeah, I'm inviting you. Now, I don't like litter bugs, do you? But sometimes people do litter. Maybe a bee got caught in a bag and you're so scared of bees you have to throw the whole bag out the window. I would never, ever suggest that you throw litter out that might land on their property. I can't suggest that in good faith. In the event something like that should happen, let me make sure you know where they live. If you're coming out of Matthews Courthouse, you'll see a sign that says either end 35 miles an hour or start 55, okay? As soon as you see that sign, you'll see a brick house on the left. Well, that's where we live. Now, if you go down one more on the left, there's another brick house. And they always have a semi-perfect yard, or think they do. That would be the place I would hate to see you litter. I would just hate to see you throw things like, I don't know, full ashtrays full of cigarette butts. I would hate to see you especially throw things like dirty baby diapers or dog shit you've scooped up. It would break my heart to see you throw out food items from fast food places you've gone and have that land in their ditch. These things would be just terrible. But maybe you don't have those things. Maybe you just have some, I don't know, like, it could be anything, cologne bottles you just finished with. It would break my heart and make me sad if you had to throw it right in their ditch and their lawn to show them a lesson. It would just kill me inside. So, of course, I must say, please don't do that. Pretty please. If you have to, I'm sure the Lord will forgive you. I'm sure the Lord will forgive you because you would have taught them a lesson. I'm agnostic. Let me get away from that right now. I hope you got my message, and I hope you heed it. I hope you use it. I'm going to throw in a couple of fucking songs. I don't feel like talking right now, so great thing about having your own radio station, isn't it? Yes, Kevin, it is. It's a goddamn good reason. One of the things I do have to find is there's a station ID that I need to do once in a while, and I don't see it right here just yet, but don't you be alarmed, because I will find it. This is what I do. I find things. Now, let's see. It's not that one there, but we have just only begun. Is it this one here? I do believe it is, and as such, we'll throw it on deck. And you are here. What you been listening to, my dear friend?
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Tears.
That's right. That's right. And what I'm going to throw on now is I'm going to throw on, they seem to like this one, Bad Ace. I'm going to throw on Matchbox. And then I wanted to play another independent song, but I haven't had time to work through them because I don't want to play the sucky ones for you. So I'm going to play The Son of a Friend Named Logan. He's got a couple going. And I'm just going to go, because his are so short, I may just go ahead and cue all three. So you're looking at about 9 minutes of music coming up here. Take you a little break, kick back, and listen to some tunage. What do you got to lose, you know? talent comes from everywhere, doesn't it? Sometimes it falls off the wall. Sometimes it comes in the mailbox. Occasionally, you'll run through a puddle of water and out splashes talent. Well, the talent you just heard all comes from this small county of Matthews, Virginia, Mr. Logan Moxley, and then there's Bad Ace, and Bad Ace serves the entire Northern Neck area here, Gloucester, Matthews, Middlesex, Newport News, Hampton, Norfolk, Portsmouth, all the way up through the Northern Neck, New Kent, Middlesex. You can find them online. You can find them at badace.com. Or you can go and check them out on Facebook. Look up Bad Ace on Facebook. Find out about events. Get to know their people. They're an excellent group. I have a friend in that group who's the drummer, and I feel that's always a necessary disclosure of information. He also has a heating and air conditioning business. If I haven't mentioned it, you live anywhere near the Northern Neck, you'll want to be getting in touch with him when your unit goes out, or if you'd like to get it done before your unit goes out. He's still the man. Western Shore Inc. is the name of the company. And they do heating and cooling. Western Shore Inc. The kind of equipment you get from places like this, it's all the same. It comes down to who's putting it in, what kind of service they offer, how dependable are they, and how friendly are they. You will not find a company within 100 miles around this area that will give you those last four categories on a repeatedly high scale at a consistent level. Todd's organization will do just that. Get in touch with Western Shore. Look them up on the internet, westernshoreinc.com. You can find them on Facebook as well. I mean, isn't everybody? Western Shore on Facebook. If you have any questions and for some reason you couldn't get through to them, go ahead and leave a message on the page for the show. I'll get it to them. The page for this show being facebook.com/TruthOnTapShow. All together, Truth on Tap Show. All right, well, paid a couple bills there. Now we're going to get back to talking. I will admit to you the movie, and I'm going to look it up. I'm not letting you guess for me. There is a certain attraction that I have always had to the radio. Now, as you know, this is internet radio. It's a little different, and yet it's not. It's just that radio is moving over to the internet. I mean, even your most famous stations, you've got all this interactivity you can do on the internet if you move over there. You've got all this control that you couldn't have had before over how you listen to your music and how you want to organize playlists and things of that nature. Any smart radio station is going to get their butts right on over to the internet. The new thing about it is now they've got to compete with people like me. Yeah, there are those of us out there that bring a special message and have a unique angle, and we are the competition, and I don't mind that at all. Don't mind being the competition. So we're over here. The movie, the initial movie, there were two movies actually. Now, I had not seen the second movie until only a few months ago. But the first movie was Pump Up the Volume. You with me? You hearing me? 1990, ring bell for you? Huh? Pump Up the Volume. Had the high school kid in it who played basically a radio pirate, stealing his airtime, with that character being played by Christian Slater. The director of that movie was Alan Moyle. He was also the writer. A couple other stars in there, Samantha Mathis, Annie Ross. It was a good show, you know, and what it was is someone saying, guess what, people? I can connect to you just like a Dr. Laura, is that her name? I can connect to you, but I'm one of those rare guys who doesn't bullshit you. You know, you get that line of bullshit from people on the regular radio, even a Dr. Laura. Well, you should look at this and consider treatment for that, and you may be put on some sort of medication regimen. No, I'm going to tell you what's causing your problems, and more importantly, I'm going to listen to you. That's what's going to make my show popular. My understanding of human beings is matched by none. I have worked on it and focused on it for a great many years. Yes, I've got the formal education in human behavior, but that has nothing on what I've gained through observation in my real life. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. If I haven't seen it all, then they've hidden that part from me, because I've seen everything that's out there to be seen. That's for sure. I can help you with your problems. We can connect. But you got to call in. You got to call in or come on the chat. Tell me what's wrong. Tell me what's going on with you. I can help fix you. Sure can. The show's growing. I don't expect a lot of activity right now, but when people listen to old episodes, they'll realize what's available to them. The other show took things a little bit differently. Now help me compare and contrast these two. One was called, I think it was just called Talk Radio. I'm not seeing it on my initial search here. Had Alec Baldwin in it. Let me see. Talk Radio. Yeah, it was a film, 1988. And the main character in there, Eric Bogosian. Now, I hear that name all the time, and of course I can picture his face now because I've seen the movie. But I wouldn't have known him from Adam. I hear that name all the time. What does he do? I mean, I'm looking here and his accomplishments, and it's just not ringing bells for me. But he plays the character Barry Champlain, and he's a real asshole on that show. It's a call-in show, kind of like mine, where you can talk about anything. And I have to warn you about a few things, my friends. I'm getting a little more cynical. I am willing to, in some cases, be like he was on that show, and all I mean by that is that I'll tell the truth sometimes. And when I get the culprit of a problem, in my mind, I tend to beat him up a little. So if you're calling in telling me about something your boss did, there's a reasonable chance that verbally I'm going to have your boss in a corner whooping the living shit out of him without reserve. And let him call in. For God's sakes, let him call in. Let me tell you something about radio that I've learned. When it comes to calling in, you want to call in and cuss me out? The person that hangs up loses. You understand? The person that hangs up loses. That means they can't compete. The only time I'll click hang up on you is if you're bringing something personal into it about me that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, or even if it does. That's not up for debate. We're not playing the Attack Kevin show. I know me. I know my flaws. I don't need anybody to call me and tell them about them, so I'll hang up on you. The other thing I'll hang up on you for is if you just get too loony, or you're moving way too slow, or you're attacking somebody else and you've got no evidence. Yeah, there's a few things that'll make me hang up on you, because I'm going to have to keep the show moving. And I got to consider my audience. So let me just ask you this. Before you call into a show like mine, right now just about anything goes because I don't have very many listeners. But before you call into a show like mine, ask yourself these 3 questions. Am I being genuine with this question versus just trying to get on the radio? Number 1. Number 2, am I asking a question that could help other people? Or is it so very specific that it could only help me? Now, I'll still help you with those very specific questions, but I'd rather it apply to a larger populace of people. And if we start call screening, I'll end up picking them over you. So try to, and you can even sneak in your individual thing, but also ask a question that's genuine, not something you're fabricating, that applies to others as well. And 3, if you're going to disagree with me, or you're going to badmouth me, I'm leaving you on the air to do it. But can you take it back? Because I'm coming after you too if you're coming after me. Now, if you deal with me like a civilized human being, I will mirror that activity. We'll have a civilized debate. If you get nasty, hell, I may still be too tired to even rumble with you and let you just stay nasty and I'll just talk. But most of the time, if you come out barking, I'm coming out biting. So keep that in mind. Believe me, I won't hang up on you, but keep that in mind. You may have sensed, if you've been following the show since its beginning, a gradual growth, a metamorphosis of sorts that has taken place that has brought me from a place of reserved hope that anybody would even listen to me to keeping it real, Kev. A guy who is now fully confident in his ability to understand human beings and their problems, and who's also confident enough not to sugarcoat shit. Now be careful when you hear that, because I hate people say, I don't sugarcoat anything. Well, that means they're kind of rough around the edges, doesn't it? If you're walking up to somebody and they're overweight and you want them to lose weight, and you got this person that says, watch me, I don't sugarcoat things. Hey you, hey fat ass, why don't you go on a diet? Well, they're an asshole, and I'm gonna take them on the show and beat the hell out of them. It's not what I'm talking about when it comes to sugarcoating. I'm talking about the way the news is typically delivered to you. Pick your favorite station. Maybe it's Fox, maybe it's CNN, doesn't matter. And look at the way you get this almost packaged delivery of news. It's safe. It's got a child-proof cap on it. It's got cotton stuffed in there to absorb moisture so it doesn't get messed up. Yeah, you're not getting that from me. We're getting into the damn news, and we're getting to it now. You understand the difference? I think people will appreciate that. I hope they will. I care about what my listeners think. I really do. Would I do this show with no listeners? Yeah, probably. It's fun therapy. But I care about what people think. I'm not one of those guys who goes, I don't give a fuck what they think. In a lot of cases, you have to be that way if you're going to go for your dream. But you're also allowed to care what people think. I mean, what listener is going to like me if I don't give a shit about them? Nobody, you know? Now, some people might get off on it and say, man, I love this Kevin. He's such an asshole. I have to listen to him. Well, I'm not that way. I will be to a bully or an asshole himself. But if you've got a problem, you need to talk. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to see what we can get something done with it, you know? And it's one of the few things I'm limited to with my disabilities these days. And I'd love to just be able to help. So, but it's not going to sound all... You know, we used to use the word gay to describe it, but that's not acceptable anymore. And the gay that we used had nothing to do with sexual orientation. It had to do with a daintiness, a gentleness that tended to be associated with gay people, a less severe edge, a more refined edge. I find gay people are generally more refined, especially in the arts. So if I were to give something to you sounding like Mr. Rogers, back then it was okay to say, that sounds gay. You know, but it had nothing to do with gay. It had nothing to do with sexual preference. So, but we can't even say that anymore, supposedly. I'll say it. I'm not going to sound gay. The show's not going to be a gay show. That's all there is to it. Now, if you're confused by that and think, he's anti-gay. No, it's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm not giving you this clean little jello slice of a show. I'm giving you the whole pile of shit at once, steaming and solid, right on your plate. As a matter of fact, if you're gay and you want to be on the show to push some gay rights, call in. 910 no lying. You can call in and say anything on the show as long as you're not lying. I could talk for another 2 hours, I guess, but I'm not. As some of you know, I'm a filthy cigarette smoker, and I'll quit when I'm ready. Do not give me advice, or I will embarrass you. I can read the fucking package, okay? I'll quit when I'm ready. I have not yet, but these new cigarettes have these has this paper, and I think it's in the tobacco itself, where it burns out faster, so that there's less likely a chance for it to cause fire if someone passes out or something while they're smoking. So you'll hear me every 5 frickin' minutes trying to get my cigarette lit again. Bastards. But I can predict in the not too long-term future that the show will take on an even more boisterous angle, always intelligent. We always keep it intelligent and we keep it honest. But I'm sick of the prefab. I'm sick of the prefab blueprints that get handed out to radio hosts. If you've got a prefab blueprint and you're ready to hand it to me, I'm going to make a paper airplane out of it and try to hit you in the eye from long range. We don't do format here. What we do is we talk, okay? And we talk about what you and I want to talk about, not what others are telling us to talk about. And we play some music. If I like the music, it gets played. If it's kind of music that's way out there, because no one's ever heard it, and it's an independent artist, I'll play that too. I like that kind of stuff. I like trying to break new ground through all means possible, and I will. Matter of fact, tomorrow I'll have this show set up a little better. I'll have some of those new songs ready. And we'll also play Bad Ace and music from Mr. Logan Moxley. If you've got a song you want played on this, go over and go to the Facebook page and message me. Send me the song or send it to me to my email, whatsthedeal@yahoo.com. Could go to spam. I'd recommend you use Facebook, but if you're going to use the email, WUTZ, the deal. What's the deal @yahoo.com. Send me your song. I might put it on the air. If it's halfway decent and isn't about fucking killing babies and shit, yeah, I'll play it. Oh, do I go on? There's so much to talk about. I'm a little tired, but not really, because I did sleep almost all day yesterday. I was so exhausted from staying up for a week before. I could talk for another gazillion hours because there's so many things that need to be talked about, but I feel the vocal cords are fading. So what I'm going to do is give you a setup on some of the things we're going to talk about here soon in the coming shows. One has to do with, we're going to talk, if you think I've forgotten, I have not. We most certainly will be talking about Robert Small, the man that stood up in the school board meeting and tried to air his views and was arrested. People, that's Civil War material to me. I'm telling you, I'm this fucking close to trying to get a war started with authorities. We need to be left the hell alone when we're not breaking a law. Let your local law enforcement and your congresspeople know you're to your limit. You're to your limit. Go ahead and bust me. If I'm drinking and driving, go ahead and arrest me. If I'm trying to sell crack, make sure to take me down. If I'm robbing a liquor store, but if I'm standing in the middle of a school board meeting talking when I'm not supposed to be, and you come arrest me, all hell's going to break loose next time. We're done. You need to start following the rules. You need to start learning what the fuck serve and protect means, because cops have no goddamn idea what that means. Or you're going to get jumped by an angry mob. Am I clear? That's where this is going. Don't let them take away your freedoms. They're already nibbling people. They're waiting for the response. The next war in this country that turns out to be as big as the Civil War is going to be regular old people fighting authority figures, those being law enforcement and others like them, you know, other types of security forces that think they can rule the fucking world with their baton and weapon. It's time to fight back. Don't take that shit from them. They're supposed to serve and protect, enforce the law. If it is not the law, enforce nothing. Get the fuck out of people's faces and stay out of their way. American citizens have the right to be free and to speak free in this country. If you don't like that, you're about to feel the worst thing you can feel as a result of not liking it, because the people will rise. Let me make sure that you heard me clearly. The people will rise. And when they rise rather quickly. And when you've got 200 able-bodied Americans rising at once, your chances of winning become very small. So if you're a law enforcement officer or anybody of the type listening to me right now or later, get your shit straight. Don't harass. If I get stories told to me about harassment, it's going up on the internet. It's going to every news agency I can find. I am so damn sick of some law enforcement officers badgering innocent people. Okay? Just do your job. Get the bad guys. Okay? That's all I've got to say for this show. You've been listening to Truth on Tap with your host, Kevin Kierstead, and it's not as good when I say it as it is when Rex
You're listening to Truth on Tap with host Kevin Kierstead.
And on that note, be listening tomorrow. We should have a show. I don't know. I've been very sick, folks. I've been in an extreme amount of pain. I can't promise you a show over the next few days, but you know as well as I do that if I can possibly do it, I'm jumping up on the microphone. So, can't make any promises. If we do it tomorrow, start tuning in at 9 or 10 Eastern Standard Time. We'll get a couple going. I'm supposed to watch a Caps game, then I'm supposed to do a show with Ramsey. So the Caps game would be 7 to 10, do the Ramsey show 10 to 11, presumably, and then the Caps show 11 to 12. This is all penciled in. I'm not guaranteeing anything. What I am guaranteeing is that this show is over right now.